What up, YouTube? Franchise Sports TV back again with another video. Follow me on Rumble at FSTV22 as well. I use that for more spicier joints when I talk about other things that's somewhat connected to the sport of basketball, maybe connected to other sports. But it's also a way for me to talk freely. And not even saying freely like in, explicit terms, but just freely to talk about a topic, because I talked about Kobe Bryant a couple of times and all of a sudden my stuff is restrictive. Luckily, YouTube did actually a human review of my videos of Kobe and marked them as green now. But anyways, back for another edition of Top 5 Players and Best Player from every NBA team in this league. So, just to recount so far, I have done, because I forgot in my last video, I'm going to start with teams start where areas I lived at. So I have done the Milwaukee Bucks, Los Angeles Lakers, Phoenix Suns, Miami Heat, Denver Nuggets, San Antonio Spurs, Charlotte Hornets. So I have done 7 teams so far, to make sure. Yeah, I've done 7 teams. I did 2 ABA teams. I got 2 more to do. So anyways, time for another expansion team, the Orlando Magic. Now this one, I had to think about, and then I thought about it. I said, this is a no-brainer, actually. You think about it. So, I'm going to make this real quick. Starting at center, the Diesel himself, Big Diesel himself, Shaquille O'Neal. We all know Shaquille O'Neal was drafted by the Orlando Magic in '92. He was very influential on that team, especially them pinstripes jerseys. Actually, I'm looking at my pinstripe Orlando Magic jersey right now, Anthony Hardaway. But anyways, Shaq was a big plus for the Orlando Magic, probably pretty much putting that team on the map, along with Penny Hardaway. And they got them to a NBA Finals. I always get my years mixed up when he went to the NBA Finals. I know it was a year when Jordan wasn't playing. Let's get it straight. Let's get it straight here. Sorry. I had to put my freaking charger in my freaking computer. But anyways, he was very influential getting for the Orlando Magic. Got the team to the finals in '95 against the Houston Rockets. But they got swept off the court by the Houston Rockets that same year. But, as we all know, Shaq got traded to the Los Angeles Lakers in 1996. But Shaq is at center. Now, power forward position might surprise you all, but I had to put him here. And that had to be Dwight Howard. I just got done talking about Dwight Howard. But Dwight Howard at the power forward position, he was drafted in 04. Number 1 pick in 04 for the Orlando Magic. Also, was very influential for the Orlando Magic during the 2000s. And was also got the Orlando Magic to their second NBA Finals appearance in 09. And, they lost in 5 games. Dwight Howard was a 3-time Defensive Player of the Year, slam dunk champion, all-star as well for the Orlando Magic. Just couldn't win them a ring, similar to what Shaq did. And they both called themselves Superman. But according to Shaq, there's only one Superman. But according to Shaq, if he's a Superman fan, there's multiple Supermans from different multi-universes. Even though multi-universes have been, drained of all their wonder now. But anyway, it's a different story for a different day. But Dwight Howard at the power forward position, with his limited skills. The small forward position. Now this is when it got a little bit tougher. I could have put Dennis Scott. Dennis Scott played for the team from, I think, 1990 to at least 97. He also was on that Magic team that got to the finals in 95. But also, you got to think about Hedo Turkoglu. Hedo Turkoglu was very big in the 08-09 season, especially in the playoffs, for the Orlando Magic. Because if not for him, not to say this, but not, yeah, you just could say that. But not for him, the Orlando Magic would never made it to their second appearance in the NBA Finals. Unfortunately, they got shut down by the Los Angeles Lakers in 5 games. But Hedo Turkoglu, I remember him hitting some big shots against the Cleveland Cavaliers in that Eastern Conference Finals in 2009. Unfortunately, the Atlanta Magic thought it was cool to trade Hedo Turkoglu to the Toronto Raptors for one Vince Carter. Not to say that Vince Carter didn't help, because I think the Atlanta Magic ended up getting to the Eastern Conference Finals against the Boston Celtics in the next year, but they lost in 6 games. So Hedo Turkoglu, I had to put him at the small forward position. I think he was 11,000 point scorer as well. At the shooting guard position, probably one of the most, next to Shaq and Dwight Howard, famous Orlando Magic players, one Tracy McGrady. Did I ever have to say any much about Tracy McGrady? The unfortunate thing about Tracy McGrady in the Orlando Magic, I think he only had one. Let's see here. I think with the Orlando Magic, he got them. I know he got them to the playoffs in the 2000-2001 season. Let's see here. He was I know he got his first NBA All-Team first selection, averaging 25.6 per game, 01-02 season. But he just couldn't get them out of there at all. He couldn't get the Orlando Magic anywhere, and he also suffered a lot of injuries when he was on Orlando as well that caused him to get traded to Houston Rockets. He only spent his time in Orlando from 2000 to 04 season. Averaging 26, 25, 32 is his highest, and 28 in Orlando before the injuries took a hold. And he only went to the playoffs 3 times with the Orlando Magic. The first year against the Milwaukee Bucks, they lost in 4 games. He averaged a career high in points, 33.8. Next season, 30.8. And his last year in the playoffs with the Orlando Magic, 31.7 in 7 games. Who did they play that year? Because I think that might have been the first or second year that they played the first round 7 games. Yeah, they played Detroit Pistons in 7 games in the first round as an 8th seed. And who did they even have on that team? They had on that team Drew Gooden, Horace Grant, which was hurt. Grant Hill was hurt. That's why I couldn't put Grant Hill on this list, because I think most of Grant Hill's time with Orlando, he was hurt. I don't think he really got back on the court until he got to Phoenix. But Grant Hill's a different story for a different day. But yeah, he led that team to an 8th seed. He had Jock Vaughn on that team. Pat Garrity, Daryl, I think I said Daryl Armstrong. And it was good enough to get to the first round and extend that series to 7 games against that Detroit Pistons team. Because I think that Detroit Pistons team will end up winning. No, they didn't. They did not win the finals. That might have been the Spurs season. But all the team was led by Doc Rivers. But anyways, Tracy McGrady at the shooting guard position. And last but not least, at the point guard position, Penny Hardaway. As we all know, Penny Hardaway, you think Orlando, you think either Shaq or Penny Hardaway. He might even think the 4 players I just listed so far on that list. But Penny Hardaway, could say he was a point guard. He could play the point guard position. At times, he's a 4-time All-Star for the Orlando Magic, 2-time NBA first team and third team, rookie first team as well. But we all know Penny Hardaway's career was cut short by injuries as well. He scored 15,000 points, averaging 17.2 points per game, 4 rebounds and 4,000 rebounds and 4,000 assists. And he also won the Olympic gold with the '96 Olympic team in Atlanta. But yeah, those injuries really killed this season. I mean, killed his career. And with the injuries and Shaq going to the Lakers, really couldn't do anything after that. And I keep forgetting that he went to the Suns. I keep thinking he went to the Knicks and then went to Miami. I forgot his time with the Suns. He could try to revive his career with the Suns, but like I said, injuries were a thing for him. But yeah, I had to put him at the point guard position because in his time for Orlando, his first year, in 82 games, 16 points. His second year in Atlanta, 20.9, 21.7 with his best average, 20.5. And in the 97-98 season, when the injuries started to take hold, he only played in 19 games, averaging 16. And his last year in Orlando, he played in 50 games. Of course, that was a lockout season, when he averaged 15.8. And he also was part of that finals team that played against the Houston Rockets but were swept. And during that season, when they were swept by the Houston Rockets, he averaged 19 points a game in 21 games, 7 assists. So, and does he hold any records for Orlando Magic? That's saying here. But anyways, that is rounding out the top 5. As the best player who ever played for the Orlando Magic, this is a tough one, but I have to give it to Shaq. Shaq is, out of all of these people on this list, is a top 50 and top 75 player of all time, Hall of Famer. I think there's only 2 Hall of Famers on the list, Shaq and Tracy McGrady, and soon to be, maybe in a couple years, Dwight Howard. But there's no denying that Shaq should be probably regarded as one of the Orlando Magic's, or should be Orlando Magic's best player to ever play for him. We all know Shaq in his younger years was a locomotive. He was fast, bruising. I think most people think about Shaq, they think about his Lakers years when he was more of a post player. Not to say he wasn't in Orlando, but more of a post player, more bruising, slower, and sometimes out of shape. But yeah, Shaq is, I had to say, is the best player who ever played for Orlando Magic. And to repeat myself, as the starting 5 for the Orlando Magic of all time, Shaq, Dwight, Hedo Turkoglu, Tracy McGrady, and Penny Hardaway. This is just my opinion, of course. I'm sure everybody has a different opinion who will be the best player or top 5 for the Atlanta Magic of all time. I'm sure Magic fans have a different opinion, but that is just my opinion. But anyways, tell me what you guys think.